God, I got a headache again. Oh, hey. Hello, I'm TheZOMBIEJ, and I know I said I wasn't going to be covering music a lot unless I felt like it. But I wanted to talk about 5 albums from, well, 5 big names of this year. So there were 5 major albums that were released this year. Let me tell you, listening to these was a doozy. It really was. It was painful, crippling, and, well, let's just go. Starting with the new Linkin Park album, I wasn't expecting Linkin Park to release a new album, but it was a surprise. And surprise, controversies aside, Emily is actually a pretty good vocalist. I like her vocal style. She can scream, shredding her vocal cords. It's quite impressive, actually. And she was trying to fill the shoes of Chester Bennington. Rest in peace. But she's not trying to be Chester. Obviously, she's Emily, obviously. And she does her best, but there are still going to be some purists out there that are going to think, well, this version of Linkin Park is fake Linkin Park. To each their own, I guess. I don't know. Well, we've got 11 tracks here. It's the shortest Linkin Park album. You have an intro. The Emptiness Machine was the first single. It was okay. It was kind of okay, I guess. Then you got Cut the Bridge, and the next single was Heavy as the Crown, which I actually like better than The Emptiness Machine, to be honest. It was better, in my opinion. I think The Emptiness Machine was kind of a weak single, but Heavy as the Crown is definitely better. Good job. Over Each Other, this one's okay, I guess. It's meh. Then you have Casualty, followed by Overflow. The next single was Two-Faced, and this was basically 2024's One Step Closer. However, I would also compare this song to Figure .09 off of Meteora. And it definitely feels like that song in a way. It's similar, but still trying to be its own song. And we've got Stained. No, not the spelling of the band Stained. Then you got track number 10, which the title is an acronym for I Give You Everything I Have. Yeah, okay. And then Good Things Go. So, this album is better than One More Light. One More Light felt it just felt bad. It was a bad album. It was wrong. It felt wrong, and I felt like they were trying, like they had to shift their style back then in order to, give Chester a break from screaming all the time. Well, now they can dial it up a bit for Emily's, because she screams a lot on this on this album, and it's pretty good. It's definitely way better than One More Light, because One More Light was more of a pop album. There was no guitar at all. It's guitar synth, you idiots. Also, not only is Emily in the band at this point, but I think it was the drummer that left for some reason. I guess he was not up for this project, so they had to replace him with someone else. And well, Mike still does his nu metal rapping, which is pretty good. I like Mike Shinoda's rap style. It's pretty good. The lyrics are a dime a dozen, pretty much. The guitar, there's heavy moments on here. There's some moments that really harken back to classic Linkin Park, if you want to say that. Say Hybrid Theory or Meteora era. Both of those albums were fantastic. Meteora being my personal favorite. Come on, camera, focus. And this album definitely tries its best to, sound like a combination of those two albums, but also having, modern touches here and there. So, and a female vocalist, of course, which is kind of cool. Overall, it's not bad, but it's kind of middling. It's not what the Linkin Park fans were expecting from them, but it was based on the singles we heard. It was basically, what you hear is what you get. So I feel like the intro is unnecessary. You could have tacked that onto the Emptiness Machine and have 10 tracks. But whatever. Sometimes there's a few audio samples here and there. There's the electronic stuff. Overall, it's a solid album. It's just kind of meh, for the most part. I found myself enjoying it, but at the same time, I don't know. It just feels like it wasn't the right time. It was the right album for the wrong time, I feel, but it was something, at least, It was solid. Okay, it was solid. It was a good attempt, and it's definitely better than the next album, that we'll be looking at, which is Revolution by Skillet. I used to like Skillet. I used to listen to Skillet's music, primarily for the music and the messages. I get the messages, alright? I get the messaging in this album, specifically. They have 10 tracks, and yeah, you have the first track, Showtime, which is a typical Skillet opening track. This just feels derivative. This entire album is derivative. It's painfully derivative, farcically, I'd say. It's like, have we heard these riffs before? I think we've heard these riffs before. Even the drum patterns that sound a bit derivative. You'll hear that throughout this entire fucking album. We all know, yeah, you all know how I feel about Unpopular. Go watch that video if you haven't already. Yeah. All That Matters, meh. Not Afraid, title track, Revolution, Ash in the Wind, Fire Inside. Fire Inside of Me sounds like it came straight off of Comatose. I mean, seriously, was this a B-side off of Comatose that they forgot to record for whatever the fuck reason? Because it sure sounds like it. Defector. Yeah. John Cooper tries his best at a short scream. John, you can't scream that well. You're terrible. Your screaming is terrible. I don't like it. Fuck it. And then we got Happy Wedding Day, which is... Okay, I understand the messages in all these songs, but... musically, this is derivative. And, oh, by the way, we've got the final track, Death to Fire, which, again, they're trying to spread positivity. They're trying to, do all this good stuff, but at the same time... I feel like Skillet have been doing the same album since Comatose. Brilliant. Let's make Comatose times 7. I think. Yeah. So. And I wonder why. This album just sounds so painfully, farcically derivative, and it is not good. It's not good. It sounds like they're past 4 albums, plus the albums before that. Even Collide was trying something different with adding nu metal to the mix. But I can't even call myself a Skillet fan anymore. Fuck this band. This is a bad album. It's so bad because it's because of the derivative nature of the songs. It's like we've heard these. I think we've heard these riffs before. We've heard them a million times. The overall production and mix sounds similar to prior albums, kind of. But, and John, stop trying to scream. You can't do it right. I mean, come on. It's, let's go on to the next album. I hate this album. It sucks. Yeah. Seether actually have a better album this year. And I skipped their last album. I can't remember what it was called. But I still haven't heard that album, but I will eventually. And I do have a copy of the album before that. Yeah, this album's pretty good. Let You Down is my favorite song on that album. Because I heard it on the radio and thought it was a great radio hit. So, The Surface Seems So Far is the latest Seether album, and it is fucking awesome, actually. It's definitely a better album than Revolution by Skillet! I mean, come on. Night and day. So we have Judas Mind and Illusion, which are both singles. Obviously, they had music videos, I'm sure. And already, we're off to a good start. Beneath the Veil, Semblance of Me, followed by Walls Come Down, Try to Heal, Paint the World, Same Mistakes. Yeah, Seether has songs that can really apply. Same Mistakes really applies to me sometimes because I tend to make mistakes. The same mistakes over and over again sometimes. Yeah. Over the course of my existence. And then you have Lost All Control, followed by Dead on the Vine, and Regret. There's a lot of, like this, the overall production of this album is fantastic. Obviously, it feels a little derivative, but not too much. It's certainly less derivative than the Skillet album. But Seether have managed to craft a fantastic follow-up to their last album, even though I haven't heard it yet. But I've heard The Surface Seems So Far, and it's definitely a solid album. Seether have been known for making great albums over the years, ever since Disclaimer. And even before that with the Fragile album. And that was kind of a demo album, I guess, because at the time they were called Sarin Gas. But yeah, this is alternative metal / post-grunge, and it's it definitely works. Plus, you know, the vocalist, I think it was named Sean Morgan or something like that. He screams better than he screams better on this album than John Cooper screams throughout his entire musical career. I mean, come on. But yeah, Seether, good job. Big thumbs up. In fact, I'll give you a double thumbs up. So, this is a solid album. I like it. Then we got Green Day with Saviors. Punk rockers Green Day are back at it again. And wow. This album was giving me a headache. It really was. You got 15 tracks, 16 if you want the Japanese edition for whatever reason. I wouldn't bother. Yeah. So the 5 singles from this album are literally the first 5 tracks on the album. Why? You have to space these songs out throughout the entirety of the... This just doesn't work. It really doesn't work. You put all your singles up front, plus you have the song 1981 as track number 6. But they played that live. So, again, these 6 songs should have been spaced out throughout the album. Who decides where the songs go? I don't get it. This is... and the rest of the album is balls, too. Yeah, you have moments on here that kind of harken back to American Idiot, that album, which, happy anniversary to that album. I have a copy because, hey, it's a good album. Yeah. At times you'll come across moments on this album where it feels like it's a straight rip-off of some songs off of American Idiot. But at the same time, Billy's voice has gotten worse, I feel. This is definitely a better album than Father of All Motherfuckers. That's definitely a terrible album right there. Yeah. First of all, you got 5 more tracks than that album. And also that album was just garbage. It really was. And prior to that, Revolution Radio, I thought was actually acceptable for the most part. I didn't bother listening to Unos, Dos, Tres. I didn't bother listening to those because I didn't care. Yeah. So, Saviors is actually a competent album for the most part, but at the same time, has a bit of a derivative nature to it. It feels like we've heard some of these riffs before. It sounds like these songs are more like B-sides to previous albums, which, okay, I could understand putting B-sides together and seeing what sticks, and it's like, but at the same time, this was all fresh recordings. None of this sounds good to me, honestly. I mean, wow. And it gave me a bit of a headache. My headache was starting with this album, and with the next album, which we'll be talking about, that only furthered the headache. Now I have a mess. Need to drink some tea. Yeah, so these 15 songs off of the album Saviors by Green Day. Better than Father of All Motherfuckers, but at the same time, still not great. I mean, really. At this point, are Green Day even relevant anymore? I certainly don't think they are. I mean, The Offspring released an album this year too, but I feel like they're not as... I don't feel like they're relevant anymore for me to listen to that album and talk about it, so... Yeah. Sorry, Green Day, I don't like this album. Final album we'll be talking about is... oh god. The Fall by Trapt. The only Trapt song I like is the demo version of Headstrong. Their one-hit wonder and everything else, I like shit. Yeah, when a demo version of a classic Trapt song is better than the album version that we hear, you know they fucked up. What's worse about this is, well, this is one of the most hated bands on this planet. I mean, let's be honest. Nickelback, they're a meme, sure, but at the same time, oh god, I hate Nickelback too. I don't hate Trapt's music. I feel like it all just sounds the same. They clone the same 5 songs every time. But at the same time, you know, the personalities in this band are really just getting on my nerves. Including the disgusting comments of their vocalist. And yeah. I understand the hate. I really do understand the hate for this band. I hate this album. I can describe this album with one word. Boring. Boring, and I was lulling to sleep. This album was lulling me to sleep halfway through the fucking album. Wow. This is... the production is bullshit. The vocalist's voice is... it's aged particularly, like, worse over the years. It seems like over the past couple of decades, which each passing album, they just get worse and worse and worse. At this point, I don't think Trapt are relevant anymore, so yeah, fuck them. But this album, I'm not even going to say the names of the songs, but there's 15 of them. And, yeah. It's just so boring. Oh my god, this album is fucking boring! Who likes this shit? Who listens to this shit? I mean, seriously. Not only is Trapt one of the most hated bands of all time, but they're probably one of the most boring as well, musically. I mean, seriously. Nickelback can be a bit boring sometimes too, but at least they try somewhat, but they still make the same album over and over and over again. For the past 20, 30 fucking years, whatever. Yeah. I had to stop this album right at track 12, because I was at the point where it's like, alright, fuck this shit. fuck this album. I can't listen to this anymore. And yeah, I might sound like a fucking pussy for stopping at track 12, but hey, this is a bad album. It's so bad that I was literally falling asleep on my desk chair at my desk. I wouldn't be surprised if my head hit the keyboard. Wow, Trapt, you made one shithole of a fucking album. And like with Seether, I didn't listen to their previous album, Shadow Work. I didn't care that much enough to listen to Shadow Work because I didn't care enough, honestly. Shadow Work, yeah. I remember listening to DNA from 2016 and thinking, well, this is balls. Well, this is even more balls. I mean, listen to all of these songs off of The Fall, and you'll probably understand why I just can't get behind this album and this band. I mean, even the first album was just the first song multiplied by 11. It's insane. What the flying fuck. So overall, The Fall by Trapt. No. I hate this album. It's so boring. It's so lackluster. This is wuss rock. Just listen to the vocalist's voice and listen to the production of the music. This is wuss rock. It really is. It's like Jeff Tate style. Back when he was, you know, being a shithead. And there you go. So, The Fall by Trapt. -1 out of 10. I could go sub that, but you know, I can't give this album a score. It's just terrible. So overall scores, actually, let's score the albums. Linkin Park's From Zero. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. It's alright, but could be better. Skillet with the album Revolution. Just because you go independent doesn't mean the music is any better. This... oh, God. Yeah, I have to give this like a 2 out of 10. Why am I not giving them a 0 out of 10? Because at least they're consistent sometimes. At least the production was consistent on this album for the most part. But it's still crap. Seether, The Surface Seems So Far, I actually give 8.3 out of 10. It's a solid album. It's actually the best out of all of these. Green Day, Saviors. Yeah. I'm just gonna give this album a 2.5 out of 10. It's bad. It really is. And Trapt, The Fall. I think you know what I'm gonna say. Yeah. 0 out of 10. Absolute shitfest. Boring, whiny wuss rock. There you go. That's my mega review of these 5 rock albums from this year. Big names from this year. Hopefully next year, Breaking Benjamin, 3 Days Grace, Evanescence, and Shinedown will release masterpieces of albums. Because they're all going to release albums next year, and I'm going to check them out, obviously. I checked these out. I'm not happy with 3 of them. But, you know. And there's always a potential that Fireflight might release an album, but I'm not holding my breath. So there you go. Also, we might see a new Starset album next year too, which, okay, sure. I don't care, honestly, but whatever. So, what do you think about all these albums? If you like any of these albums, if not all of them, well, first let me say this, you're wrong. Pick and choose. Which of these 5 albums do you like the most? Which of these 5 albums do you hate? And let me know in the comment section below why you think I'm a fucking asshole for hating on at least 3 of these albums. Because, yeah. there comes a time where you have to, you know, pick out what is the absolute best and what is the absolute shit. 3 of these albums were shit. 2 of them were alright. I think you know which ones are which. So, yeah. Get out of here. One more sip of tea, then we'll go. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If any of these bands you like or are a fan of, I'm sorry, but opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one, everyone is one. So are you, and so am I. My head hurts. I'm gonna go take some headache medicine. Thank y'all for watching. I'll probably be back tomorrow with a video. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. Stay tuned for more videos. I'm TheZOMBIEJ. I'll see you folks later. Have a good fucking day, and peace. Yeah.